It's really the last time a president-elect coming into the White House settles a massive fraud case. That's what we have now. President-elect Donald Trump, of course, has been battling the last 6.5 years a lawsuit that he says he would never settle, well, until Friday, when an agreement was reached paying $25 million to a variety of people who were involved in what has been described as a fraud Trump university. It wasn't even a real university. The trial was scheduled to start today, but that class action lawsuit, again, has been settled. He was accused of not delivering what it promised to various students. 6,000 people who paid up to $35,000 in tuition would now get at least half of their money back. Here's what their attorney had to say after the settlement announcement.
Both sides fought very hard, and we fought for what we believed in. And at the end of this, you have to respect the other side for the fight and respect the fact that in the end, he did do the right thing.
Now, Trump did not have to admit any wrongdoing, but the settlement was exactly what he said he wouldn't do time and time again on the campaign trail.
I could have settled this case numerous times, but I don't want to settle cases when we're right. I don't believe in it. And when you start settling cases, you know what happens? Everybody sues you because you get known as a settler. One thing about me, I am not known as a settler. If we have a trial, we'll go all the way. Watch how we win it, because I've been treated unfairly. We'll come back in November. Wouldn't that be wild if I'm president and I come back to do a civil case?
Well, guess what? Trump sent out 2 tweets this weekend lamenting the fact that he had to settle. Quote, I settled the Trump University lawsuit for a small fraction of the potential award because as president, I have to focus on the country. Well, fact of the matter is they were suing for $40 million. He settled for $25 million. If you do your math, that's not a small fraction. 5 minutes later, he tweeted, quote, the only bad thing about winning the presidency is that I did not have the time to go through a long but winning trial on Trump U. Too bad. We call that spin. On the panel today, Joe Madison, the Joe Madison Show on Sirius XM Radio. Dina Bass, a partner at Bass Public Affairs. Spencer Overton, the president of the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies. Angela Peoples, the co-director of Get Equal. Joe, I'll start with you. What does it say that literally we have a president-elect coming into the White House who just settled a fraud case?
What we should say is he probably has 70 more cases that he may have to settle or go to court in. This is going to be typical Trump, where people get just a fraction of what they really should have gotten. This is what he has done all through his professional career, and that's on record. So basically, stay tuned, because you're going to have, as I pointed out, 70 probably other cases. I don't think we've ever had a president of the United States that has had that many cases prior to taking office.
Dina, during the whole campaign, he kept calling Hillary Clinton a fraud. We can call him a fraud. This is the president-elect settling a fraud case. 6,000 people, veterans were among those groups, regular, ordinary people who said they got shafted with this fake university of Donald Trump.
Well, I think that he, as you're pointing out, he did say that he would not settle it, but I think that
over and over and over again.
He said it over and over again, but I think it makes sense for him to settle it. I mean, as he said, he has, to deal with running the country, so I think it makes perfect sense for him to settle the case, and I do believe that he probably would have continued to fight the case, and over and over again, as he said, he indicated that he would fight it, he would fight it, he would fight it, but it's completely reasonable and rational and pragmatic for him to settle it.
So does it bother you that, again, he was accused of fraud, a fake university, the class action lawsuit, and now he settles? I mean, these were just regular, ordinary people. These are the people he says he's not going to represent as the country. We have an incoming president who settled a fraud lawsuit. Fraud. Right.
I understand what you're saying, and I also understand that the people who are accusing him are regular, everyday people, but there are people in this case also who championed Trump University. I'm not, I don't know the details.
First of all, it's not a real university.
Right, and we understand.
It's a fake university.
It's a private,
I think it's really important that we give actual context to when we say Trump University, it is not a real university, but Trump University built off of a business model for-profit colleges that the Obama administration for the last 8 years has been trying to chip away. This is a part of, when we talk about Donald Trump is of Wall Street, so he knows how to fix Wall Street. He actually doesn't think that there's anything wrong with Wall Street. Donald Trump thinks that there's nothing wrong with the fraud, with the lies, with the deceptive tactics. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been collected, not just from Trump University, but from Corinthian College, ITT Tech. The list goes on of schools that have built their model off of defrauding average people. I think it's important to note that when we're talking about the last 8 years, where we've made a lot of progress in stopping this fraud that really ruined millions of people's lives. President Trump has talked about, I know how to fix Wall Street because I've been able to take advantage of the laws. He's not going to fix it because he thinks that there's nothing wrong. There's nothing broken. He built his model off of that.
The question here is, the policy question is, where is Trump going to be on for-profit schools? Obama has made some moves with for-profit schools, cutting them back, and we know that 80%, for example, of black students don't finish these for-profit schools. We know that you're twice as likely to be in debt.
Stop. I need to do one thing. I'm going to separate a for-profit conversation from this one. This isn't even remotely a university. No, follow me. I understand. First of all, I've been covering this story. I totally understand it. And first of all, those for-profit colleges, their stock prices are at a 52-week high as a result of Trump being elected.
Yes.
But this wasn't even close to university. There were no degrees. This was. I understand that, but no. But if you shift the conversation to the for-profit conversation, away from the fraud conversation, then all of a sudden you lose the focus on that.
For-profit colleges are
No. But
I'm somewhat amazed at how this conversation has morphed into. Look, most of these students didn't get anything of it. They didn't even get to meet Trump for the most part. They got a book. The reality is, this man hustled everybody. I mean, I'm sitting up there. I'm sitting up here listening
That's what he did.
I'm listening to people. You heard him for 18 months. I'm the biggest, baddest thing. I don't settle. Look, guys, grow up. The man lied to his supporters, made him seem like he was big, bad, and tough, and I'm going to take this all the way to the... And remember now, it was the judge who suggested, excuse me, you might lose this case. You better settle.
The same judge who Donald Trump attacked because of his heritage, and repeatedly did so.
How many times do we have to be hustled?
And his supporters bought into it. But again, what does it say that the 45th president of the United States, a month before he gets a little more than a month before he gets inaugurated, selling a fraud case? I mean, that should be offensive to a Republican or Democrat.
It's Roland, first of all, and I understand what you're saying, that he settled a fraud case, and yes, I definitely see what you mean in terms of separating this from private universities, because I actually don't.
Not private universities, for-profit colleges.
I'm sorry, for-profit colleges.
Not the same.
I do see the reason that you're separating these, but I also would just quickly say that even people like Julianne Malveaux have pointed out that some for-profit universities have not been.
We are not. Let me be perfectly clear right now. We are not going to have a for-profit conversation right now. We're going to stay focused on Trump and fraud. There's a reason why I'm doing this, because I'm not doing the deflection or the shift.
Okay.
What I'm saying is this here: it should be problematic for anybody in this country that the person who is walking into the White House is selling a fraud case for a fake university.
He did not admit wrong.
Of course not. And he's telling me he didn't admit wrong.
In 18 months, he did say that he would not settle it, but do you think that it makes sense for, let's be real,
the issue for me is not the settlement. The issue for me is the fraud. The issue for me is the fact that people were lied to. People did not get their way what they're expecting. The issue for me is, as Joe said, Donald Trump, who was the president-elect, hustled these people, and that's the person who is walking into the White House.
And the issue for me is that it does not make sense. The issue right now is that he is the president of the United States, Roland, whether you and anyone else wants to admit
I understand that,
But the bottom line, Roland, is that right now the president-elect cannot go into the White House with this happening. He has to settle. It is most important.
Dina, you're missing it. Dina, actually you are. See, Dina, you're trying to tell me what's pragmatic. What I'm saying is this here. Yes, Donald Trump, just for everybody knows, Donald Trump is walking. Excuse me, Dina. I understand why he settled. But what I'm saying is this here. The person who's going to put his hand on the Bible and swear to uphold and protect the Constitution of the United States from folks of foreign and domestic,
just pay $25
million for fraud.
And you know what?
And I'm saying that's not. Are you cool with that? That's fine. But I'm saying that's what you're looking at. And as Joe's point, we've never seen that happen before in American history. An incoming president settling a fraud case.
Never. But we have seen incoming presidents like Clinton settle, sexual harassment cases. But at any rate, oh
my God. Okay, let me go to my next story. That is
they didn't settle. They didn't settle before he got in the White House.
That's a lie, Dina. Dina, you can't come here and lie. That didn't happen.
No, that's why.
Did it happen?
Yeah.
No. You just said Clinton settled a sexual harassment lawsuit before he came to the White House.
I don't know the date. When did he settle?
Okay, my God. Okay, gotcha. It was after he was president. Like 5 or 6 years. No. This ain't fake news show. It's not a fake news show. It's actual real news. Folks, also over the weekend. But Dina, if you're going to state something, state it factually correct. This is not a fake news show. Okay, you corrected. All right, folks. Yes. And guess what? We called him out on it, folks.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Every weekday morning at 7 on TV 1.